Okay, now that we've created a data template for the main blog content, um, this being the main blog content, we already have a data template to create these blogs. Let's create a data template for the summary page, or the main, the home page for the blog. So, on the home page of the blogs, there's a little write-up about all the blogs that you can access from here. So let's create a data template for this. So let me go back to my data templates, click on my blog folder, and then create a new data template here. I will be calling this, let's call it blog home page content. We will leave the status as active. Visibility should be private. And this will not be a multi-submission because there'll only be one instance of this. So we will set this to single submission. And we do need access to this from a data API. So I will check that box. Now this data template is going to be a little more complex. So we will get a little more organized for this one. So I'm going to create it in sections, and I'm going to have 2 panels. So, just to help with the layout and readability and usability, we will create it this way. We drag a panel here. Let's call this page details, and I want this to be, so I'm going to select primary color here and save it. And now, that's a panel, and I can drop other components, drag and drop other components into this. So the first one is going to be a text field, and this will be the page title. So even the blog summary page or the blog home page will have some sort of title or headline, and that's where we'll put that in. The validation, again, I'm going to set it to required. Minimum length of 2, maximum of, let's say, 200, and save that. And then I'm going to drag another, so we can use, the fact that this is a content management system, we can use it for, stuff like configuration. And, one of the configurations that we want to keep on this, with this on the home page is how many blog summaries we should show at any given point. So for example, I may say I just want to show 3 blog summaries, and then I can set that number there. I can say I want, let's say 9 blog summaries or something like that, and then I can set that number there. So let me go back and then use a number field here, because it's going to be a number, and I will say max blog summaries on page, and then I'm going to say, okay, I'm going to say in the validation, I'm going to say required. Let's say minimum value is, let's say 3, and then let's say maximum value is going to be 18, and then I'm going to save that. So you can input any value here between 3 and 18, and I think for now that main configuration is done. Now we need a section where we will have multiple blog entries or multiple summary blog entries. So we need, that's the title of the page, and then we'll need multiple of these blog summary sections. So to do that and make it easier for us, I'm going to click on data and drag, actually hold on, let's do one thing. I forgot to put the panel. So let's add another panel here first, and then let's call this panel blog summaries, and save that. Now inside this panel I will add it's called edit grid. I'm going to add that here, and this will be blog summary, and I will save that. Now I don't because we already have blog summaries here, I don't think we need this title here, so let's go and edit that and say click on the hide label and save it. So it will not show it. When we actually show the form, it won't actually show that title there. So for each blog we need a title, we need a date, we need content, and then we also need main image URL, and plus there'll be some other things we'll need, but we'll come to that in a bit. So let's say I drag this here, and then this would be title. Validation would be make it required, minimum length of 2, maximum of 200, and I will save that. And now we may want to put a checkbox here to say whether or not to show this a blog on the page. So let's do that. So let me go to checkbox, drag that in there, and say show on page ? And by default I want it to be checked. So let's go here and say default value. Let's check that, and by default it will always be checked. And then let's say save that. So now if we decide that we don't want to actually show this blog on the summaries page, we can just uncheck that button, and it won't show. Let's drag one more thing I want to put in here is like a rank. Okay, so rank would be which blog to show first, second, third, fourth, and the marketing department can decide that we want to put this blog on the top of the page as the first blog, etc., etc. And so I will put a rank field in here, and I will make that required, give it a minimum value of 1 and a maximum value of 18, because that's the maximum number of blogs we can have. So I'll save that, and then what we need is a date field. So if I go on advanced here and drag this here and say date, and the validation I'm going to require a day, require a month, and require the year as well, and I will save that. So now we already have a date there. So there is one more thing that I think we should add to this blog summary here, and even though it's not actually used over here, but you might want to put like tags, just to let the people know what sort of fields are covered in that blog. And I will add a tags field here, and then tags is good enough, and there's no validation required because this will be a non-mandatory field. You don't actually have to put anything in there, but if you wanted to, you could. Okay, so let's now we also need let's add a URL here, and this would be, let's say, the main image URL. I'm going to make this required minimum length of 2, maximum of 300, and then I'm going to save that. Now we have we have the image URL. We will also need a blog URL. So for example, you know, when you create a blog, and you know, when the marketing department creates a blog, that itself will have a URL. The data API will have a URL. And for now, I'm just going to add the data API URL here, and we'll discuss some strategies of how you can leverage that URL in a bit. But so I'm going to put another URL field here, and I'm going to call it blog URL. Again, I will make this the required field, set it to 2 and 300, and save that. And I think the last thing we need now is a place where a user can actually you know, put in the summary content for that blog. So let's go back to our basic thing here, and then say text area, drag that. We're going to say, we're going to call it blog summary, and then the validation, I will set it to required minimum length of 2, let's say maximum length of 1000. And then one more thing I need to do is select the editor. So I will say I want a WYSIWYG editor, so I will select CK editor here, save that, and then it shows up here. Again, I just want to make sure that this is too small. I'm just going to add a few more rows here. So go back there and say rows, let's make that 16. That looks good. So that's basically how this will look. At this point, I don't think we need anything else. So actually we do. Let's make one change here. For the data grid itself, let's say, and you'll see what the data grid does in a bit. I'll show you what it does. But in the meantime, I just want to go and say, for the add another button, I will say add another blog summary, and then save and cancel seem okay. So let's just save that, and let's save our data template. Okay, let's go back and see. Go back to our data templates and click on the content management blog, and then blog homepage content. So this is the form that I just created, and it's giving me the URL for data access via API, and then it's telling me it's a private single submission. Data access via API is enabled. It's active state right now, which is all good. So let's take a look, and let's say if I wanted to modify current submission, I click on that, and then it's showing me this here. Okay, so I think we messed up a little bit. Let's go, you know, instead of putting all these fields inside the edit grid component, we put them outside that. So let's go and modify this. Okay. Modify. Oh yeah, okay, hold on. So let's drag that there. Drag that there. Drag this one inside as well. And lastly, this one. So now everything seems to be nested inside the grid component. Let's save that. And let's do a quick refresh here just to make sure we got everything right. Yep. Okay. And now we can go back, take another look at our component. Okay, so that's basically how this component works. So, you know, I can, if I come here, it gives me the option of adding blog summary here. And by default, you know, it's not showing me anything because I don't currently have anything. And, you know, which brings me to one, maybe for the first time that you know, come on this page and there's no content in there, maybe it's a good idea to have the first instance open. So I'm going to go and make another change to this data template. And I'm going to go here. And I'm going to say, click on that, open first row when empty. And as you can see on the right hand side, it's showing me how that will look. And this looks good to me. So let's save that. Save our updated data template. And then go back to our data templates. So now if we click on modify current submission, there you go. It's, you know, showing me, I should have changed the color for this panel as well. We'll do that later on. But it's showing me, in the first panel, it's showing me the page title, which would you know, equate to this right here. And then it's, you know, showing me how many maximum blog summaries I want on page. And that would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, you know, that number there. And then it's showing me the blog summaries themselves, right? So it's telling me you can enter a title, whether you should show it on page, what rank you want it to be. And that would equate to the fact that, you know, if I wanted a blog to show up first on this spot, then I would put the number 1 there. We can add tags over here, the main URL, the blog URL, and the content of the blog, right? So I can go and click on this button and it'll give me the option of putting another blog summary in there. If I click on cancel, it will remove that and just leave me with that one. So that's basically how that edit grid function works. So let's say, let me just put some information here. Let's say 18, all of them. We want to show it, let's say this is rank 1, month is January, let's say day is 15, 2025. So let's say this is about construction. So that's how we would add a tag in there. let's just give a just fake URL for now. Let's say images log1.png. And then this is where I would put in the content, and I can click this button here and save it. And now it's giving me a summarized version of my first blog, that I just created, the blog summary that I just created. I can obviously click on that icon there and make edits to this, and I can click cancel and it'll just let it be. It'll disregard any changes I made, or I can save it by clicking that save button. And then I can add another one, and I can add up to 18 of these blog summaries here. So this component works pretty well when you have multiple data structures that are exactly the same. Okay, so that's basically does it for the form. Let's go and make that one change. The panel color, let's go and make that change as well, so that everything matches up. Let's change that primary, save, let's go back, and then we have, now we click on that, there you go. So now the colors are matching, there's two different panels here, the form is more organized, and we're ready to go. And like I said, a non-technical person can come and make the changes here. You don't need a technical team to come and do this kind of stuff for you. So now we've created a data template for our blog content, as well as a data template for our blog summary. The next step is to put some data in these data templates and see how we can access this data via an API. We'll do that in the next video. See you then. Bye for now.